Hey guys, it's CALLOUS here with Jabba the Griffin for what better be the final play-in set for CI7. Hopefully, better be. This determines the last spot of who's going to be in the main event. It'll either be Caloom as Caloominum on the bottom, or Sprinkles as CI Training on the top. Battle of opposites here. Caloom, a very balanced, bulky-ish, mid-rangey player, whereas Sprinkles is basically an exclusively offensive player in this tier anyway, and we'll see how that clash of styles plays out. What are we expecting, Jabba?
Exactly what you said. Although the lead from Caloom instantly signals that maybe he mix it up. I feel like people have had success so far mixing it up against Sprinkles and bringing stuff like DD Ments, which matches up well into a lot of the stuff that Sprinkles brings. I know for a fact I told Sprinkles at least one of these games, just you got to do it. You got to rip the band-aid off. You got to hard stall, or do something like Milo doll or something like that. You got to do
So,
it.
so when we get to main and I tell you that, you're gonna follow your own advice, right?
I did last year. I
Yeah,
rolled up and,
very
and two
good.
years ago too. I do it at least once. I hate to do it, but I do it. You got to keep people on their feet.
So, could be two different things here. So, if it's some kind of physical ments and a Celebi that screams some kind of Magneton balance or Magneton physical offense, alternatively, it could be a mixed ments and it could be, say, a CM 3 attack Celebi, something like that. So, it could be like an aggressive leaning Fradazi esque TSS with like Scarm Arrow kind of stuff in the back. Too early to know.
Yeah.
Sprinkles is kind of a clicker generally, so I'm surprised actually that these opening turns are as slow as they are. And Roar Zapdos usually indicates a bulky defensive Zapdos, but I know that on the Cowboy Dan team that he really likes, Hyper Offense with Smeargle, Mr. Business, that also has a Roar Zapdos. But Milotic certainly makes it look defensive, and this looks like a very stereotypical Caloom team, unless he just rips something from Fradazi.
Did he quick mag checked instead of just getting his layer down, or maybe dodge hypnosis? But Sprinkles isn't gonna hypnosis there. I don't think.
It's not unheard of. I remember the old M Dragon squad with Mag Pursuitar and Cursed Rest EQ but generally speaking, Milotic plus Magneton, not unheard of, but not super common together. On like certain lax balances, you can do it, but
Yeah,
I don't think it's
like
super likely that Sprinkles has
mag.
a Mag.
Yeah, Mag Milo doll's a thing.
Yeah, it
It's not a
exists. It's
great
not.
thing.
It's not like you rule it out the second you see Milo, but I don't think it's too likely that Sprinkles has a mag in the back.
No, I think he would have hard mag there too anyway, so I think that's out of the picture. Um, but and here's his Scarm, and he's gonna get his layer up. That did good chip for a psychic. Makes me think this might be maybe like the HP fire.
There it is.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see a protect here from Sprinkles, and we'll see if Kaloom wants to take advantage of that. He doesn't. He just HP fires into it.
So,
And so Sprinkles will probably hard go back to the Zapdos here.
so credit to
Or
Sprinkles
Bullseye.
for
Bullseye works.
mixing it up. This is very, very unlike what he usually plays. This is a total 180 from his usual, which I think is a wise move. I think when you're someone who very consistently brings the same kind of things, there is tremendous upside to just throwing a complete curveball every now and again. Caloom does not look like he deviated at all. This looks very much like his usual. Like I said, maybe if it's like Arrow last and an offensive Celebi, maybe it's closer to a Fradazi team than a Caloom team, but it still looks very similar to the kind of thing that I would stereotypically envision him bringing.
Interesting play by Kaloom there to hard go B instead of click one of the prediction moves with the Ments. I think that was a good chance to HP Grass there and catch the Milo. And obviously, anyone who's ever used a Milo in their life knows that the way Milo eventually dies is it gets crit or it gets flinched. So that would have been a good fish turn there.
Focus Punch revealed on a. That's the only thing that's revealed. So physical or mixed tar here. I'm going to go ahead and predict that it's going to be Last Poke Arrow in the back for Caluminum. I feel pretty confident about that.
Oh, he gets the third layer down, which is going to be good here. It's going to put a lot of pressure on.
I think they're gonna stay. I think it's last arrow. I think those layers aren't going anywhere.
No, I
I have a.
think this is
It
one.
could be Starmie. That does kind of fit. It's not gonna be Doll, and it's obviously not gonna be like Fortress or something. Maybe Starmie, but I think it's just arrow in the back. I think he's gonna be stuck with those layers.
Which is going to be a huge problem, obviously. He needs to get his own up soon, but I expect that Sprinkles has a doll back there.
Yeah, Sprinkle's playing with fire here. He
Yeah, this
keeps
that
recovering. I mean, you're gonna
what
have to.
one
Wow, I'm surprised that Caloom stops actually, but
yeah one seed miss and this Celebi is going to have a rough time going forward. Even here, actually, clicking drain, which is just really bad there. I think instead of
I think this is literally a Ferdazi squad. I think you literally either asked him for it or copied it from a replay or whatever. But I don't even think he like built the team based on Ferdazi. I think it's literally an exact Ferdazi 6 with arrow in the back.
this is the stalk roar. I don't like that line from Sprinkles. I think he should have clicked roar there. And he needs to hit it here on this stalk. He does. That's actually really big for him. Um, it's tough though because that Zapdos is never waking back up. But
Well, what are the
curse,
last two for Sprinkles? He needs a rock resist, and he's not gonna have Swampert plus Milo, so like
it's
probably
gonna be
just probably
Doll,
Doll, right?
and then last. I don't know. That's on these types of squads. Uh,
Rachi, Gengar, Dugtrio.
yeah, maybe Gengar. That's
Surf
a
crit there could matter.
yeah. That should be pretty big.
Third
I'm
layer
not sure.
should still happen, but like,
Double crit. Oh, that's pretty big. I don't get the recover. On turn
so you're ahead
on
of me.
turn
I'm
3.
just seeing the crit now on 32. You
Yeah,
clicking skip to end?
I clicked it like once.
Well, don't do
Yeah,
that.
I don't understand the recover, but he's got a toxic this T-Tar here, I think.
I strongly
Um,
favor Sprinkle's position here.
well,
He's up
yeah,
him on. He's gonna be able to spin away the spikes, and the last poke is not gonna be Gengar in the back for Caloom.
you think he hard dials here? He does.
There you go.
And then so
Yeah,
here comes the spin, and there's
rapid
no
spin
way
is
that's Gar, right?
100% happening. It's not gonna be Gar in the back. Yeah, I mean Sprinkles up him on, has 3 layers down at versus 0. Caloom can't reestablish the spikes. I'm not ready to call it unwinnable. Anyone who's ever watched ADV knows that Aerodactyl is dumb and can just do stuff, but I think Sprinkles is way
Oh,
ahead.
that's a huge miss of the seed.
It sure
Um,
is.
but I will say there is for sure 100% still that, like you said, there's that arrow out. Um,
Which I'm almost positive that it is, by the way.
with the doll being down to 44%, he's gonna need.
Maybe I'm wrong. If it is Arrow, I sure as hell would have put it in there rather than the Swampert, so I don't know. What is this Curse Pert doing against Skarm exactly?
Um,
It is Hydro Pump. Fair
getting,
enough.
getting water.
Usually it is Ice Beam, so
Yeah,
Pump
usually it does.
Pump does a little something, but and it is a
Yeah,
mixed mince, which I'm not surprised about.
looks like grassless mixed ments, which would confirm your this is a Fradasi team because that means it has pump
Well,
instead of
here's the real
instead of
question:
grass.
how much credit do you give Sprinkles in his ability to read teams? What percentage do you think Sprinkles knows that it's Aerodactyl on the back right now?
I think he knows it because I think he probably has this team in his builder.
So you feel confident that he anticipates the arrow.
Yes.
Well, that would serve him very well to play the rest of the game accordingly, because I think the only way at this point that Caloom is going to win this game is by setting up the arrow and just getting there. And also, if it happens to be a last poke rock resist, let's say it's a Jirachi in the back for Sprinkles, then I think Caloom is fucked either way. But if it were like a Gengar, a Dugtrio, something like that, the Nero actually has a shot because the doll does have meaningful chip on it. The Skarm is low. Couple rock slides can just get there if it is arrow in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I think he's gonna need the two flinches to get there. from this specific spot.
Hey, Stranger Things, right?
Yeah, I think you just sack down that pussy. Yeah, and there it is. There's the Doug.
You're still ahead of me.
Oh no, it's. Did he change the team? It's gross. That's the
Where
worst.
where are you? I'm on turn 51.
Oh, you're way behind, man. You're way
Right, because
behind.
I'm not skipping through. You
Well, it's
get,
hard not to. I got Zoomer brain sometimes.
you gotta let it play out in real time for the video. Skipping through is not what the
Well,
fans want to see here.
well, I hate to ruin it, but the team change. Even if you look in chat, everyone's talking. Oh, last is arrow. Last is arrow. Well, the people are going to be surprised when they see what the real last is.
Yeah, I see the GGs. I must be miles behind. I'm on 54 still as we're
You still
continuing to
got like
play it
five
out.
turns.
Yeah, you gotta stick with me next game. No skipping
Okay,
ahead.
next game, I will not touch the skip turn button, no matter how much my brain tells me to.
I do the same thing when I'm spectating on my own, but you gotta remember this is
I
on
know.
YouTube.
Yeah, it's hard not to, man. The brain's like I can't watch these animations. They just bore me to death. They're so slow.
Yeah, Doug Trio, one of the pokes we talked about for Sprink. There it is. And then the last for Caloom. Okay, sure. Just a Gilligros or something.
Yep. Yeah. Instead of arrow.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's the same. It's the same kind of effect.
Yeah, except worse than last Mondoggy.
Indeed.
0% chance of winning that one.
All
Game two
right.
started.
Game two has begun. We have a lead Skarmory for Caloom on the bottom and a T-Tower for Sprinkles on the top. Sprinkles one win away from a CI7 main event slot, which Asta, I'm sure, would be thrilled about when I PM him and let him know. And Caloom's going to need two in a row. Usually lead Skarm is indicative of two polar opposite things. It's either really, really aggressive like a Jolt Spike stack, or it is a hard stall team that really, really wants to get spikes down ASAP.
Uh, lead Scarm always gets crit. That's just a fact. It always gets crit or always gets burned. But this one's fatter, so that indicates it doesn't have any speed. So this is probably a slower team.
Well, it didn't get crit on turn one, but
Did
there's
not.
there's always another day. There's Protect. See how greedy he gets. Does he spike again?
Uh,
I would fling
yeah.
Toxic if he has it. If he's got Toxic, I would take that trade for sure.
Nah, it might be Lum, and if it's Lum, you're.
Lump Focus Punch? I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
I
Sure,
would.
why not?
I click Toxic here if I'm in Caloom Seed, if he even has that option, which he
Oh,
doesn't.
you
Doesn't look like
text.
he does.
That's a ballsy play.
And it
I
would
like it.
and it would not have
It
Lum
is.
as we discover. It does in fact have leftovers.
Oh, I don't like that play at all. Just
Yeah, I
start
mean
rock
it's
fighting.
good if it's non-roar Skarm, but I think Ferdazi and I are the only two humans who approve of that set. Oh wow, he doesn't spin.
No, I see why not. Get the with the chip. You'll spin later. Oh, and he just leads Drill Peck right in a Blissey, and it just bounces off. Might as well have not clicked anything at all. And then switches the car right into the para. This is not going well for Sprinkles.
I don't
I
think
don't know. It's a little early to call it,
I
but
was
I'm
gonna
starting to
say
sniffing a game three.
I don't think
The
it's
way
going
this one's going.
I don't think it's going terribly for Sprinkles, but it's certainly not going well. Like Focus Punch right there, what if he just like crits or whatever? There's a million little things that could get him right back in it quickly. Oh, it's double potential spinner. Usually that means one or the other doesn't have it, and bringing Doll if it doesn't have spin, it should be banned, should be something punishable by death. So I'm going to assume that it's just going to be off star. It could be double spinner. Like Caloom
When,
is a spike spammer, so like if there were like 3 people in the whole event to bring double spinner into, this is probably one of them. But I suspect that it's just off star.
Not sure why he doesn't just peck there. Nothing he showed would make T-Bolt. I mean, he's not going Scarm on the peck ever, so you might as well peck instead of T-Bolt. If Sprinkles has his own spikes,
He's got to
Drill.
spin now, right? He's not gonna.
Yeah, he's gonna spin and then eat the ice beam. And Caloom doesn't ice beam, which makes me think he doesn't have ice beam, or he might just be extremely wary of Sprinkles just booming there, because knowing that the
Are,
Zapdos and the Starmie would be tough to handle if he just clicked boom right there.
are you sure that Caloom is winning this game? I mean, it, it,
No,
it
but
seems
but he's ahead.
ahead.
I mean,
Ahead. I agree with, but it seems somewhat
Sprinkles
close to me. I don't think this is.
Sprinkles is gonna have a hell of a time, um, killing that.
Well, that full para helps. The focus punch definitely would have been some good chip on
He
Swampert
wasn't
there.
focusing. I don't know what he was clicking, but it wasn't focus punch.
Ice Beam on Zapdos helps as well. Probably as HP Grass. Very common on Drill Peck sets. Usually it's T-Bolt,
Yeah.
Drill Peck, HP Grass, and then you could fill the last move. Usually T-Wave, but it can also be BP, it can also be Toxic. Whatever you need it to do.
I don't know. I think Sprinkles is way behind here. I don't like these sort of teams without spikes.
I,
And the fact that he hasn't brought Scarman yet makes me think obviously he doesn't have spikes. So it's just going to be really uphill battle to kill anything, really.
yeah, and
And when you're just clicking HP grass into the Blissey, it's like you're almost resigned to your fate at that point.
well, I think he's just playing for chokes or for greed. I think he's hoping that Caloom gets cute and goes, "Oh, I'm gonna ice beam him on the drill pack." Tee hee hee. But it would just be a big throw to make a play like that, and
Yeah,
Caloom, if he were to do that and lose, would have no one to blame but himself.
considering that the Blissey was at 100, I mean, there's just no world um, in which he just doesn't go Blissey. I mean, that's just I
Back
don't
to
know.
back top six finisher, Johnny G2. Quote, bring
Ooh,
on game three, he says in the chat.
that's a
Not too
terrible.
confident about Sprinkle's chances in this one.
No, no, this one's over. I'm not sure this bring. Let me pull up this. Let's see if he's got this team. If he dropped it at any point over the past few days. I know he's been testing with.
Last year, top 12 finisher, SCA in my chat, also saying, okay, this is quite over. Nobody believes in Sprinkles. You guys just wait. Fucking last two pokes, a Jill Gross arrow, just get there. Don't count him out. ADV is
I'm
a fickle
I'm
beast.
I'm
Obviously,
counting.
Kaloom's ahead by a lot, but it's not done.
It seems like a really weird bring into Kaloom because you just can't pressure anything.
Yeah, you watch the HP Grass Star here on Swampert.
No, I'm gonna watch this game slowly end.
It's looking like we're
Um,
very likely going to a game three here, but if there were outs for Sprinkles, it would involve a mixed breaker in the back, something like a Charizard that threatens all four of the revealed Pokemon for Kaloom. We all know Sprinkles has a Charizard crush. Could also, yeah, here's a meta that we talked about, so like some kind of like meta arrow combo with luck, with raises, with flinches. Maybe digs him out of it, but uphill battle, it's going to require a lot of luck. Right here, for example, he could T-Wave and get immediate full para, but that is not what occurs. Zapdos goes down, and now Meta's going to try. God, is there a world where you just mash here where it's just, fuck it, I need raises? Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
I don't love the EQ. I think you're supposed to mash there. I think the only way out of this is just getting there with BS.
Imagine if Sprinkles is people Jumpy pointed out in the chat. Yeah, blame me for telling him every day to not bring Charizard.
I mean, I was just going to ask you that. What percentage, what is the likelihood that Charizard is on Sprinkle's team, whether it's that exact team or not, that it's on his team in game three? What do we think?
I think there's a 0% chance he doesn't bring Charizard game 3.
Okay, so 100% he's bringing it. There's no world where he doesn't bring it, as far as you're
Right,
concerned.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's guaranteed after this game.
See, it's tricky because opponents that like know anything and know how to scout at all, and this is the Aerodactyl team, by the way. It's the ABR team. It's Adamant Arrow in the back as the last poke for Caloom. This is This is the team that ABR got to 1800 plus on ladder with, but uh, and Sprinkles knows this team too. He's used it himself in Mushi League. But yeah, back to the discussion at hand. So there's a mind game, right? So everybody knows that Sprinkles always just defaults to Charizard, but it feels like so many of these play-in players, and half the reason why they are play-in players is like they know this information, but they don't know how to adapt. They don't do anything with it. Like they know that it's coming, and they're just gonna load up something that loses to it anyway. Like if I were Caloom, there's no world where I don't have my Lotic or Suicune on my team next game, but I bet he doesn't. I bet he just loads up Pert into HP Grass Zard, and it's harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, so I'm looking through. It looks like this team, what he did was he turned the what are
It,
you doing?
it
He turned the Zard into a mixed Zapdos, which is just a lot worse on a team like this because the mixed Zapdos is never breaking the bliss.
yeah,
Uh,
it's just like a boom spam with two special pokes in the back, the Starmie and the Zapdos. But yeah, he basically took the existing team, swapped out the Charizard for Zapdos, and basically just made it worse. Basically just watered it down. This is
yep.
the Sprinkles equivalent of team building. Take one of the teams I already have, which wasn't mine to begin with, a team that somebody else made. Change one poke, which is objectively worse. Hey guys, look at this cool new team I built. Look at the heat.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and that's the difference. See, that's the thing, and it's a fundamental misunderstanding. Like, mixed Zapdos needs spikes because it just doesn't do enough damage to Blissey. But if you put enough attack in it and you have spikes up, then you do enough damage to Blissey to eventually, clip through it if you predict correctly. Charizard does not need spikes to get through Blissey. Like that's the fundamental difference between the two Pokemon, right? So now you see exactly why you shouldn't do things like this because this team is built around having a Charizard. It's not built around having a mixed Zapdos.
Yeah, Mixed Zapdos is a fine Mon, but it's like not at all the kind of Mon that you just slap on a team. It's quite the opposite.
No.
You like super duper need special specific things around it, and then even though they are both mixed and they do I can't talk. They both do fly. It's really not that comparable to Charizard. They function quite differently.
That's pretty much, how he looked at it. Oh, they're both off the ground.
They're birds. They have physical and special attacks. They're both from Gen 1. God, they might be twins. Wow.
You're better off bringing HP Fight Moltres, am I right?
Could never go wrong with such an innovation.
Uh,
Hey, you can
he's,
see here. Does Caloom have Starmie? Does he have Starmie?
we're actually at the point where it's not outside the range of possibilities that Sprinkles pulls this off. I know we've been clowning on him,
It's not gonna
but
happen. It's last
he's like
it,
one
it's not gonna
he's like
happen.
one match. Oh, why did he agility? Oh my God,
No,
Sprinkles!
that's actually really relevant because it's last poke Adamant Aerodactyl, which absolutely fucks him up if he doesn't get ahead of it. And Sprinkles knows that it's last poke Arrow. He has this team in his face.
He needs to kill the Pert first, though. So you need to get damage on the Pert, and agilitying isn't going to do that.
Yeah, but if he manages to blow on the Pert, all of a sudden,
All of a sudden, what?
do we know the lax set? No.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's not gonna be
Slam,
curves.
Focus, Shadow, Boom, probably.
And there's the
Yeah.
concession. Womp womp womp.
And knowing Sprinkles, this is probably Rock Slide, not Boom, so he's never booming there anyway.
Well,
Don't use Spikeless Zapdos. Yes, thank you, SEA. See, that you are correct. Don't use Spikeless Mix Zapdos. Even the chat.
I was gonna say I use Spike with Zapdos all the time, just not Spike
Right.
with mixed Zapdos. I mean, SEA is the only person in the high level ADV community who thinks that Zapdos is in BL. Like
Oh, really?
he genuinely believes it's not even a top 15 Mon in OU, and he's not trolling the way that like HGlat does when he gives viability rankings. He thinks it's garbage. He thinks Zapdos is like 20th ish, not even close to top 15. Garbage Mon. He really truly believes.
Sounds like somebody needs to Zapdos him 2 times because there won't be a game 3.
Well, it's going to be one game to determine the final spot. Caloom or Sprinks, and I will load that up for you as soon as it begins. Charizard absolutely coming, says Jabba the Griffin, and man, Caloom actually hasn't played his own team in either game, which is weird. I know that he does team build, maybe with these abridged weeks where he only has 3 days to prepare for an opponent. He's just kind of defaulting to teams of others, but yeah,
Well,
it was Fradazi, and now it's ABR. It's back to back, not his teams.
yeah, well, I had a discussion about this. I think everybody knows Kaloom's style and the kind of stuff you bring to beat him. And I think in his match against who did he lose to? Was that Sadly he lost to?
Yes.
I believe so. He tried to mix it up, but he clearly made the teams himself. And when you try to hard switch styles and build yourself, sometimes you might not exactly know what you're doing, so you might put together something that doesn't work that well. And I was talking to other people, and I think it was the smart decision. If you're going to go outside your style, and we are on this short week, just grab, ask people like Fradasi or someone else, hey, give me something. I don't want to play in my style, but I don't have more than 2 days to build something. So let me have what you have, and it definitely worked against Leo, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, worked against Leo, and now we're at 1-1 against Sprinkles. Although the second team was definitely more in line with his style than the
I mean, Spriggles is like the kind of opponent where mixing it up isn't as important because you know he's not going to mix it up because you know Sprinkles himself has 4 teams in his pace that he recycles over and over
yeah.
again. Like, he's not
I
going to
I think
deviate.
I think for Kaloom it's important to mix it up because I think Sprinkle's style matches up well into Kaloom. Those Charizard brings are rough into something like this. Um,
Game 3 has begun, by the way, and
nice.
I certainly approve of this lead from Caloom. 100% if you're anticipating the Charizard's coming. Or no, I've got it backwards. I apologize. It's actually Sprinkles leading my low tick. I thought it was
Yeah,
Caloom.
again with the Milo.
Ha. Huh.
This is I feel like this is Sprinkle's like strong suit. He makes these connections, right? Like game 1, Milo carried him. So game 3, he's like, I need to bring it again. It worked game 1. I need to do it again.
I mean, is it? This is the oldest trick in the book, and it's something lazy non-builders like Sprinkles love to do. Is this just the game 1 team again, but he switched the lead to make it look different?
Well, if it is, we'll see a Doug come in,
Hey, there's a Doug.
and we'll see his Skarmory. It very well might be.
Let me click back to game 1 real quick. It would be what Bliss Doll is the last two. I think I think it's the exact same team, but he changed the leads to make himself look sneaky.
He's something else, man. I swear.
Yeah, no,
I,
he's quite the builder. Building for him is use someone else's team game 1, use someone else's game two, but change a poke and make it worse. Use someone else's team game 3, but switch the order to make it a new team. Caloom will never see it coming. Man, why can't there be more? I hope Sprinkles wins.
it would be hilarious because this is not the first time he's done it. So, although Kaloom's team is like a mashup of his first 2 teams, so it's like,
Yeah, I'm not. BKC, who is obviously a better ADVer than myself, has been a long time Skarmag fan. It's not a pairing that I've ever been overly fond of. There are definitely Skarmag teams that are solid and viable, but
he, he
I'm
tried to
not
catch the
I'm not
seed.
huge on it.
That was a bad attempted seed catch.
Yeah, and I mean, he obviously wouldn't HP fire him there, so that's real deal HP grass. So good thing Dougie did not stay in there.
We'll see if Caloom just takes the boom on the Milo, uh, which would be really big for the Ments, assuming it's mixed Ments again. But it could certainly be DD, which would be even better, actually.
My prediction here is a Agilagros and a mixed men's would be my guess.
I think that's smart by Sprinkles here to go Zapdos. I think that's a much better boom target than the melodic. I don't understand why he's just. I guess he just wants to burn seed PP, so he's willing to just instead of click roar, he's like stay in, seed me, and eventually I'll get through all those, right?
God, why do people do this? Even ABR, who's another one of the all-time goats, fucking in the chat, 5-5 game. It's kind of over. It's pretty much done. Why do people fucking do this? There's
I'm
so
curious.
much more game. Like,
I'm
how
curious in which direction he thinks it's over.
have you ever
Has
played Pokemon? Have you ever been like fucking frozen by something or crit by something? Like, this game is so swingy. This game is so not over.
Yeah, I don't think it's over at all.
And over also implies that either of these fucking dinglings is gonna play perfectly all the way through
Right, right.
and not throw, which Lord knows there's a throw or two in Mons.
I do think Sprinkles in this specific matchup is going to struggle to kill Celebi plus the Scarm, unless he can do something crazy and catch the
Yeah,
Celebi
the
with Bug
Scarm in
Trio.
particular, he has like only the Zapdos that remotely threatens it. I mean, Bliss, I don't remember the set from the previous game. If it has like T-Bolt or something, it gets interesting. But yeah, I hate the six that Sprinkles is rolling up with. This archetype has been around for a long time. A lot of the time it is Suicune rather than Milotic, which makes a lot more sense to me because it can start CMing up and actually pressuring things, but the team is so damn passive with Milo, and it just, yeah, even just something as common, oh geez, there's a
Oh,
big crit. Something as common as a Skarmory, like you're so walled by it.
yeah, I
This
don't like this bring at all. I don't know what he was. I hate when he does this, man. You got to prep three teams and you got to bring them in order. You can't game three go. Well, game one, team one. I'm
he
gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring it again.
he prepped like 1.25 teams. Like he's got this one twice, and then he has his most played team that he changed one mon.
Yeah, it's just disappointing, but I guess this shows why he didn't get through Rick in the first place.
ADV is one of those tiers. Like I don't know that you have to, in air quotes, that you have to be a builder to be good at it, but it helps a lot. It helps quite a bit in this tier. There's
Yeah,
de- there's
that
de-
double.
there's other tiers where you could just pick up a team from a paste and just be fine. This probably isn't one of them because it's like very matchup-y, and the players in this tier have pretty distinct styles and preferences, and having the ability to really change it up and exploit that, I think, is really important. And I agree with what Columium says here. If you read in the battle chat,
Yeah, after with the double protect getting the gross out of Doug Trio range, that pretty much ends the game there. He needed the only way he was ever killing that Celebi from this point was likely going to be a crit, an HP bug crit, or catching it at a low HP. So now there's no chance of that happening.
there's a spike. So with like unfairly perfect S-Talk roars where Zapdos just gets everything he needs every single time,
Right.
he can theoretically kill the Celebi. Let's say Celebi comes in at 60% and Zapdos gets a crit exactly when he needs it or something to that effect, but it's going to have to be so precise and so perfect. Caloom can't remove the spike. But I mean, this is all without even knowing the last. Like, if it's just like last arrow for Caloom, which it totally could be, I think that Sprinkles is just fucked either way in that instance.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm disappointed watching this live.
Yeah,
I
no.
wanted better.
If you're a Sprinkles fan, it's hard not to be. It doesn't.
Yeah.
He had more time to prep than anybody. He had the 6 days rather than the 3 that his opponent was going to have, and you would think that if he was taking this seriously, he would have. I mean, he's got his whole circle. He's got his whole Discord of friends. Why did someone not give him something else, something more?
We try to, man. We try.
Well, that's on him then. If you guys gave him stuff and he just didn't listen, I mean, who's to blame?
Let's see. Do we have any shot here? We have 2 more sleep turns if he stalks a roar.
There, yeah, there you go. I mean, yeah. Now if Celebi comes into a crit Thunderbolt, crit Bolt, oh, there's not even sand. That's so bad.
No.
You can't even fucking T-Bolt crit plus sand him down. That's so bad. I mean, yeah. Then I guess you have to like roar the Celebi out as it comes in like 2 more times and then crit it.
Yeah.
You'd need a para here.
I want. Do you have a roar here? No, I guess. He did go for the roar. So he's just gonna fish. This thing's got to be toxic, right? With the wish protect,
Usually,
toxic flamethrower, fat mints.
usually, sometimes it is flame plus dragon claw, but yeah, toxic is usually the case somewhere.
Well, if he had toxic, he
What?
should have
I mean,
and would have put it there.
well, that's one way to lose. What if Caloom clicks toxic here and gets Thunderbolt crit right now? Okay, there's a roar. Makes it
And then it
interesting.
goes after this. Okay, okay. We're getting there.
Celebi is now in range where it would die from a T-Bolt crit without needing the assistance of sand.
Do you have to fish the miss here to have any chance?
I think you have to go to Dull.
Okay.
He actually takes that pretty well. That's got to be a pretty fat Dull. And that was a good double for your boy.
It was. It was.
You have more than zero shot. If you get Celebi in and you crit it, then maybe. Let's
You
see.
need something out of these T-bolts, though. Probably a para would work. He's
Yeah.
running out, though.
Well, he's got 11 left, but as you guys know mechanically, when he uses Sleep Talk, it does not take PP from the move, so in theory, he should have more than what it says that he has.
I think
Blissey,
that was a nice. I think that's a nice play, actually.
I don't remember this. Ooh, that's the exact set that he needs. CM Bolt Beam. Don't get me wrong, guys. Java and I are both fully aware that Caloom is ahead here, but I don't think this game is over.
Yeah, if you're gonna have any shot, it's with that set.
And that was the right roar too. It's way better to get Zapdos out than Claydol here if you're rooting for Sprink. He actually, if he's right with his prediction here, or if he catches a break, like if he paras something on the switch, he's gonna let the Scarm go. Interesting. That's probably fine. I mean, are the spikes good in this situation? Is the Scarm as a wall good in this situation against
It's like a
two things with
crit.
Thunderbolt?
This is actually starting to look winnable just from the one set. Something gets claimed here if he just clicks Ice Beam.
Yeah, Caloom I think has not. Well, ooh,
Whoa,
it's
this
getting.
is actually super winnable. Holy shit! Wait,
I think Caloom has not managed to get his Aerodactyl in anywhere near as often as he should. I think he's
no, he
had
should be. He should, yeah.
because
Because
like
if he gets
every
double edges off,
right every time Aerodactyl comes in, it clicks double edge, and Sprinkles just doesn't have anything at all that wants to come into that. But yeah, I don't know. The comeback might be real here.
yeah, Caloom is just not playing this end game well,
No,
and
he's
Sprinkles is.
imploding here. He's had so many opportunities to to get the arrow in and just click double edge, and there's nothing that Sprinkles can do about that. He has to just eat it, but it, man, this would be an implosion. The crowd would go wild if Sprinkles came back and won this game. And what a fitting CI storyline if that's how this were to play out.
Yeah, especially since we were pretty much giving Sprinkles a eulogy not 5 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, no, he was way the fuck behind, but and I mean it's God. Remember on turn 18 when ABR's it's over.
Yeah,
It's not over. Go fuck yourself. Like play the game. It's not even close to over. It still isn't over. The outcome is uncertain right now. Man, Caloom may be forced at some point to sneak arrow in while the Zapdos is sleeping and cross his fingers to not get
yeah.
bolted in his sleep.
He could probably just hard arrow here, honestly.
Do you just boom if you're meta here? He's pretty low.
No, no, you go arrow, man. He's always going. He's always going Zapdos.
Right, which is what you want to boom on, isn't it?
No. You want to boom on the Blissey, because that's the only way you lose.
Maybe. He agrees with you. Here's Zero.
Man,
Now it gets interesting. Double Edge does not kill Zapdos here. Do you double edge and hope you don't get bolted in your sleep? Or
no.
do you click Rock Slide?
You click Rock Slide.
He disagrees. He clicks double edge. Critical hits down the doll. 3-2 in a tense late game here. Crucially, the Aerodactyl, if it did not have chip damage on it, would always survive an Ice Beam or a Thunderbolt here. But now, at just 69%, will always die. Why would you Thunderbolt rather than Ice Beam there? What is the meta at?
That's the meta. That's what he was doing.
At 27. Yeah. No, it's correct. It's correct. I forgot that the meta gained Leech Seed health. That's why. Because the meta was like way lower before, but then it leached off B.
He's still trying to catch the meta.
Motherfucker, Burn Tower, if you fucking ping me one more time during this set.
He can probably go.
It's interesting. I think Caloom is going to get there anyway, but Sprinkles is making it.
PM again. Yeah, there we go.
Sprinkles is making it interesting.
So that the Ice Beam kills the Metagross switch.
So he's going to try to CM up in his face, and Caloom obviously can't super comfortably switch right now.
No.
Going to go for their cover, and so is Sprink. Tense one here in a game that ABR said was over on turn 18. There's Ice Beam. Back and forth we go. The Calm Mind's negligible. And Sprinkles goes for the beam.
Yeah, so then Caloom goes meta again, and then we're in the same exact spot we were before.
Caloom goes meta again, and then if he clicks, let's see. You'd have to calc. Does double edge kill Blissey after it comes back in on the spike? Like, if you boom here, do you win no matter what, pending Rock Slide miss? Is that... Or can Blissey survive the DE? It's obviously modest, right? And it has no HP investment. It's 252, 252. I don't have the calc in front of me. The question is, can Bliss survive? Because if you just boom here...
Double Edge always... Double Edge would do 51 to 60.
Okay, so Blissey can survive that.
After the spike, he'd be at 53, so there is a survival chance, yes.
So, yeah, there's your play. You go Zapdos here. Wow, he sees it differently. Okay, well, Sprinkles has one out now. It's to dodge Rock Slide. He can't double edge here. Sprinkles must dodge Rock Slide and find Thunderbolt in his sleep.
Nope.
And he does not manage to do so, but he made it interesting.
Is staying there ever a winning line? I mean, dodging the mash, I guess, but aren't your odds just always going to be higher? I guess he must have predicted the double again, but I don't think he's ever doubling there. There's really no reason to.
I'm not sure what the play is because we didn't have enough time, but that's going to be my single biggest criticism of the way Sprinkles played the late game. He had the fucking time. Why didn't he use it? You and I didn't figure out what was perfect there, and there's no way that he did either. He had more than 4 minutes left on his timer. Why didn't he take it?
Who knows?
Yeah,
Because
I'm not sure there.
I think it could go either way. So I'd say the line he took isn't objectively wrong. You have a mash dodge chance to win, uh, and you get a rock slide chance on the other side. I'd say the rock slide miss on the Zapdos hitting is negligible. That's
Right.
sub
The
10%.
odds this way are very bad. You have to dodge the rock slide and find the 1 in 3 T bolt. I don't love those odds. I
Well,
like the
here he still had one mash dodge chance and one rock slide dodge chance. So those two together aren't negligible. Um, Everything combined probably gives Sprinkles about a 30% chance with that line.
at
Um,
the end. I liked going to Zapdos rather than staying in with Bliss. I think that was the one thing that stood out as I'm not sure
right.
about that.
I don't think Caloom from that spot ever goes hard. Obviously, earlier it made more sense, but here I don't think it made sense to try and predict the switch to Zapdos. So I think you got to go Zapdos there because your Blissey solo and it comes back in on spikes that Era can just win with double edge later, maybe, especially if he gets the Zapdos in and then clicks boom. The odds of that roll at 53%. Well, get. Uh, he'd get lefties too, so he'd be like 59. So I guess actually the roll would be in Blissey's favor. I don't know. That was a tough one, but like you said, it's we're still talking about it, and he had 4 minutes left, and
That's
maybe
my
he should have.
biggest question. Use the timer. Why don't we think it through? Do some calcs, whatever. But well, the result is a 2-1 victory for Caloom. He's going to be in the CI7 main event, and for his sake, I hope he changes it up because he's going to get counter teamed for sure. Sprinkles makes it interesting at the end in a game where it looks like he was getting crushed, but he comes up just short, and Caloom does win. All 4 of the people in the UK who play Pokemon will be in the main event. That is the most UK representation we've ever had.
It is kind of funny that if you look back on this game, it kind of all was decided on that Metagross double protect. Because that thing was able to stick around long enough to be relevant in the end game and end up winning the game when, if that was dead 50 turns ago, this game's over, right? And Sprinkles has assuming he doesn't get Rock Slide flinched, which is a big assumption, of course. He's got a win under his belt.
Yeah, people don't never look at it like that, but it really does come down to little things dozens of turns ago. Well, there you have it, guys. We have our full main event 32. The event is scheduled to start tomorrow, July 9th. I haven't announced the time just yet, but I'm going to reveal the pairings live on stream, and which I haven't even drawn yet, by the way. And we'll get started. If you guys want to donate and support the event before it begins, feel free. PayPal link in the Discord server. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the pairings video. Appreciate you joining me.
Godspeed.